All right, what's going on, guys? So, unsurprisingly, Big Ant and Narcon, however the hell you say it, have screwed up yet another release. I think we all knew this was coming for anyone who knew they were making a rugby game. So, Rugby 24, this is the second delay it's had. It was meant to come out in September last year for the World Cup. And evidently it is now delayed until March. And of course, as Tiebreak was, this is coming out in another early access state. I reckon anyone who was waiting to see this game come out is probably paying pretty good attention to what's going on with Tiebreak at the moment and how poor it's been so far. Just the fact that it's more or less the same as the last game they did 4 years ago, and they've actually reintroduced some of the issues they had in the very first AO tennis game they made. So it's like they're continually going backwards. But yeah, there's also some people saying Narcon are the cause for this, and Big Ant used to be really good, and they used to never have issues with releases and things like that. I think a lot of people are going to realize is Big Ant is like, even before the publisher came along and injected however much money they did, Big Ant were known for poor releases prior to that. Like the first AO tennis wasn't published by Narcon. Big Ant just did the developing and publishing themselves, and the communication with that game was pretty poor. So that's another thing that they're well known for prior to the takeover, was poor communication. They just like it's a bit rough when the CEO uses his own personal account rather than getting someone or he himself going on to the Big Ant Studios like Twitter page or whatever it may be and replying to comments just via his personal page. And like there'd probably be plenty of people who wouldn't even know who he is. So most people are just completely left in the dark. As you can see, some of the comments here, where are we? Some of the comments, absolute shambles of a company. I don't think anyone will mind waiting a little longer if the game is actually good. Yeah, I mean, fair point, but it's hard to see. And the fact that they've had no screenshots or anything, no screenshots, no video, nothing, is also a big worry. Another thing is, again, the CEO, Ross Simons, I don't know which way to pronounce it. That guy, someone asked him, what was going on with Tiebreak and Rugby 24, and he replied, he's playing both games and he's enjoying both of them. It's just like, well, if you're enjoying both games, you could have, like, especially like, well, Tiebreak or Rugby 24, show something. It doesn't, like, even if it's unlicensed content, because like that's another excuse they've used is licensing. Like they can't keep using that as an excuse. It's just a joke. They need to admit they've bitten off way more they can chew for such a small development company. I'd hate to think what all the licensed teams and federations and all that sort of stuff think about this, because assumedly, they've, well, I don't know if the developer or the publisher pays the licensed teams and organizations or what the situation is, but I mean, they want something to be well represented and well communicated and things like that, but it's just not happening. So I mean, to say this is like, I mean, who's to say when in March this will come out? Me personally, I wouldn't mind if it's late March because I'll be away early March through to late March. So I won't. If it comes out while I'm away, I'll have to wait till I get back and endure the suffering, undoubtedly. But another thing is, if anyone remembers Rugby League Live 4, like, I know some people enjoyed it, but, like, I personally hated that game. Like, the gameplay was so poor. Like, you would pass, and then players would just stop dead and then start running again. There was no fluidity to it at all. It was so frustrating. And there was just, yeah, there was so many animation issues. Like, a lot of the basic gameplay mechanics just didn't work. It was just an absolute nightmare. But anyway, if anyone was actually looking forward to this, or what you think about this, just, yeah, drop it in the comment section, and I'm sure we'll all have a good old time yet again.